to the templates over here, and we're going to click on Theme Builder. Because the header is part of the Theme Builder section, I'm going to zoom out because my screen is too small. Okay, so I already have the header, so I'm going to delete that for now, because we're going to start off from scratch. So the first thing that you want to do is click on header, and then if you click on create a new header, you can create a new header from here, give it a name. I'm going to click on create the template. So we have the column set up over here. I'm going to close the navigator for now. And I'm going to click on the plus, and we need 4 columns. Because we need a part for the logo, for the menu item, for the button, and for the social icons. So I'm going to pick this one. So we will have 4 columns. Now we want to give it some height. So we're going to go to height and then click on minimum height. And we're going to make it 90. And this is an important number because we need to remember this number if we want this header to be on top of our other content. So remember that number. And now we're going to go to the color. And we're going to give it a background color. We're going to delete this later, but if we're going to work with white text, I cannot see what I'm doing over here because this is a white background. So first we need to start with a black background so I can actually see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna give it just 50% opacity for now. So if we apply it to the home page, we can actually see that there's content beneath it. So this is just for now, and we're gonna delete this later. And now let's go to the advanced over here and put the Z index on 1. The Z index or Z index is to make sure that our header is on top of all of our other elements. If you really want to make sure, just put it at 10 because sometimes in your website you have already played with this number. So I'm going to put it at 10 so then I'm sure it's always on top of our page. Just click on update or publish for now, and now you're going to get this screen and it will ask you where you want the header to appear. I want it to be on the entire site, so I'm going to click on save and close. Now I'm going to go back to my home page and click on refresh to see what happens. And now as you can see, it is transparent, but it's still on top of our page because my home page ends here. So we need to make sure that my home page is beneath the header. So how we're going to achieve that is go back to your header and then play with the bottom margin. So unlink this value and then put -90 over here. And as you can see it already here in the preview, now the other content that is beneath this header will move inside of our header. But the whole header is on top with this Z index. So that makes it transparent. So if we're gonna click on update now, go back to our homepage and click on refresh, you're gonna see that right now it's on top of our page and we can see the video through our black layer that has a transparency. So in this way we have created the transparent header. So now I'm gonna place some elements inside of my header. So for example, if you pick a logo, make sure it's a white version logo, otherwise you're not gonna see it, of course. So I have a white version of my logo over here. I'm gonna style that really quick. Now to put your nav menu in it, just drag the nav menu widget of Elementor Pro. As you can see, it doesn't have the right color, so of course we need to change that to the white color. So if you're gonna click on white, now this looks a lot better. And now just make the column a little bit bigger, so it will just be on one line. And align this to the right. Okay, over here I want a button, so I'm gonna drag in the button widget. So these pages appear over here because I've created a menu inside of WordPress. So if you click on the menu item, the nav menu widget inside of Elementor Pro, and you open the menu screen, you can see that I've created a menu inside of the normal WordPress menu creator. And you can create a menu from here, and you can just drag in your pages from here. And I've made sure that the contact page is not part of my menu because I want the contact page to be inside of this button. So that's why there's no contact page inside of the menu, because I'm gonna link this button to the contact page, and I can just search for the contact page over here and link it like this. Boom. Last thing that I need to do is search for a few social icons. Let's change the platforms over here. And by the way, this is not a tutorial for the basics of Elementor. I'm not going to go into all the details here. What I also want to do is I want the content to be vertically aligned inside of every column. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to every column, go to advanced. First of all, delete the padding, so it will be just on the left. And then go to the layout and vertical alignment, put that on middle, so then it will be perfectly aligned to the rest of my website. Now copy this style, paste that onto the other ones, as you can see. Now just make sure that you have the right sizes for all of your columns, like this. Alright, let's click on update for now and see what I've created. Go back to my homepage and click on refresh. And as you can see right now, this is almost the menu that I want. And now we can turn off the black. So we're gonna go back to the main section over here. Go back to the style, the background type, just uncheck this one. Now we can't really see what we're doing over here, but we're already done, almost at least. Go back to your home page and then refresh, and as you can see, now we have a transparent header. So I did a few things to make this design look a little bit better. First of all, I added animations to every single item. So what I did is I went to the first column, went to advanced, and then went to motion effects. Then I used the fade in down. Then for the next column, I did the same thing, motion effect, fade in from down, but then I added a delay of like 300 milliseconds. So then this column first animates in, then this column will animate in, and then I'm also going to do that for the last two. So add a motion effect and put this on 600 and put the last one on 900. And this is a really cool effect because now it will be like an animation inside of the header. So click on update, go back to your homepage, refresh and look at the animation of the menu. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, that's pretty cool. I've also added a few hover effects. As you can see, there is a underline over here, but there's nothing happening with the button and the social icons. So I've just clicked on the button, I go to style, and then within the hover, you can set up an animation. For buttons, I almost always use string because I think that is the slickest of them all. Looks pretty nice. And for the social icons, I use grow. So if you then go to icon hover animation and click on grow, the icons will grow. We cannot see it here, but trust me, let me show you. If you go back to your page, refresh this, you can see this is a nice effect for a button, and for the social icons, now they start to grow. Okay, so now for the mobile menu, because the mobile menu doesn't look very good right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my style and add the background for now because I want to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna put the mode on mobile mode, and this is of course not what you want for a mobile menu. So the first thing that I want to do is add some margin inside of this main section. So go to advanced, unlink this one, add 20 to the right, 20 to the left, and then maybe also 20 to the top and bottom. Now I don't want the button to be in the mobile menu, so now just click on the button and we're gonna go to advanced, go to responsive and hide this one on mobile and on tablet mode. Now go to the first column and give this a width, something like 30. So then if we also give a width to this one, go to layout and maybe give that 50, and then go to the last one and give that a width of 20, then it will appear next to this button. So now the last thing that we want to do is change the style of our mobile menu. So we can change the alignment, for example. We don't have a lot of styles in Elementor Pro for the toggle button, which is something that I don't really like. I just want to insert a custom icon over here, but for now we just have the hamburger icon. But we can change the style over here. So if we click on the hamburger icon, you're gonna see that this is how it opens. That's not really how I want it. So what you want to do is go to full width and check that. And now if you're gonna click on the mobile menu, it starts to open like this, looks a lot better, and the icon automatically changes in an X. You don't see that over here, but this is what happens behind this icon. Also change the vertical distance to something that's more clickable. Also go to the toggle button itself. I do not want a background color over here, so I'm going to change that to 0% opacity. And I'm going to make the color of the icon white. That looks a lot better. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because that looks a little bit nicer. So now this is how it looks, and in this preview we can see that this column is next to this one, but I'm going to check on my mobile phone if it's what I want. Okay, so as you can see on my mobile phone, it's not perfect because we forgot to delete the black background, and there's also a margin, a white margin on top of it. So now I'm gonna go back to my computer, and that's probably because of this padding that we've set in the main section over here. So I'm gonna delete that for now, the bottom and the top. It doesn't look very nice over here, but that's maybe because of this column that it doesn't look nice. So I'm gonna go back to style and now delete the background type, go to update, and then go back to my mobile phone. Alright, let's refresh the page. And as you can see right now, this looks a lot better. Maybe I need a little bit more margin next to the icon, but this is kind of what I wanted for a transparent header on mobile. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. So now we're done, but I forgot one thing, and that is that the contact page is now not accessible on the mobile phone. So what we need to do is go back to our menu, and we need to create a menu for our mobile. That's a different menu than for the web. So if we go back to the menu screen, which you can find over here, we need to create a custom menu for our mobile phone. So top main mobile, for example, create the menu, add all of the pages that you want to the menu and rearrange them, save this, go back to your header, refresh it, and now we need to make sure that we will have a custom menu on mobile. So I'm gonna make a duplicate of this one, and I'm gonna change this one to the top main mobile, and I want this one to be visible on mobile and on tablet. So I'm gonna go to advanced, go to responsive, and disable the desktop. And for the first one, I want to disable the other two. So go to responsive and disable tablet and desktop. And now if we click on update, we go back to our home page and we refresh this, we're still gonna see the menu on our web. That is how we wanted it. And on my mobile phone, it will show the contact page. This of course works the same for on tablet mode. You can create a custom design on tablet mode, but I always use the same design on tablet as I use for mobile. Yeah, most of the times that's how I do it. So the last thing that I want to show you is that you can also make your logo clickable to the home page. How you do that is pretty simple. You just click on your image, you go to content, you go to link, and then you go to custom URL. And then you just find your home page over here, you click it, you save it, and now your logo is clickable and will automatically link